Hey again, Tom again, back with another video. I'm here talking about my first 3 reads of How to Be a 3% Man by Mr. Coach Corey Wayne. You can probably hear people outside, sorry about that. Currently it's 36, 35 degrees. It's quite ridiculous for the UK. Yeah. That's why I've got this. I've got the sun shining in my face, and that's what you can see right there. And yeah, I'm essentially just going to talk over the things that I've learned from 3% Man over the past, essentially 10 months that I've been reading it. It's been 10 months and I've read it 3 times, so I'm not exactly the best student, but we'll get there, slow and steady, like the river that never stops, or something like that that the coach likes to quote from Rumi. Thought I'd break it down into what I think about the book so far. I think the book is broken down into 4 parts. There's the first part, which is essentially going over the essentials, the things you've got to know about the nature of masculinity and femininity in dating, in order to actually even start dating and approaching women. Then there's the approaching women, there's the saying hi to them, trying to get their initial level of attraction worked out. Then there's the whole dating process, what you need to do for that. And then there's finally the bits that I go after, going later on into the future, beyond dating, or just dating. Though the dating process never really ends, it's always there. It just takes on a slightly different form, and just call it a different name, like an official marriage or being in a relationship, being boyfriend, girlfriend. The principles and the fundamental things never change. Just the appearance we give them in names changes. A little about myself in the last 10 months. I've significantly improved my life, and I don't aim to stop. I aim to continue improving myself, and to get a woman who is very good for me, or women who are very good for me. I haven't had a girlfriend in the last 10 months. I've had interactions with women. I had 1 successful seduction, but beyond that I've kind of been a bit pussy, I have to admit. I haven't put myself out there as much, and as a result maybe I haven't gained as much as I could have from the book, but it's alright. All I can do is just improve in the future and just keep on working at it. So, oh yeah, in the last 2 weeks, I started going to the gym as well. So you can't really see much, but I'm starting to try and improve my physique. So currently, maybe next time I do these, when it'll be reads 4 to 6, I'll be a bit better built. Yeah, as you might be able to see, I'm already sweating. That's purely just from being in the sun, because we're not used to it as Brits. But that's just the way it is anyway. Yeah. I read through it. And then the past 2 times I've listened to it, I've been listening to it. I bought the ebook on Google Play, and then I've just had that on my phone, and so I've then read the text to speech thing, and I've just listened to it that way. At some point I might buy the actual official audiobook, so I can hear the coach's voice. And I think so far I'm halfway through my 4th listen. I think on the 5th one I'll go back and try and properly read it. But it's typically something that I do when I'm, say, cycling to the gym or walking somewhere, or I need to stack the dishes, or I need to clean my room. I'll just put on and listen to it as I go along. Yeah. So the things I've garnered from 3% Man so far are also broken down into sort of 3 stages of understanding or impact. There's the know, where you know that something is the case. There's the partially getting it, which is where I know it is the case, and I've seen a couple of instances of it, but I don't really fully understand it, and my actions or the beliefs I hold aren't always congruent with those facts. And then there's the understand, where it's the belief has just become so ingrained, and I've seen so many instances of it that I just hold it to be the case already. It's already something that is just within me. I think in order for something to move from just being something you know to something you understand, it has to be that you see the relations that fact has in comparison to other facts. So you can know that the Earth is, like, I don't know, however far away from the sun, but if you don't have an experience of that, you can't really move it into understanding. Or if you know that as a fact, then knowing other facts, like how far away other celestial bodies are away from the sun, you see the interrelation between those things, and you get a better understanding between those 2 facts. Do you understand what I mean? It's a bit like knowing all the individual rules to football, and you know them to be the case, you can memorise them, but until you actually probably have an experience of them, seeing them out in action on a football field, you're not really going to have an understanding. The understanding comes from having lived experience and seeing the relations between each of these facts, each of these things you know, until you then just take it as a matter of fact and you can really believe in what you're seeing there. So yeah, that's a little bit of my philosophy of, I guess, a philosophy of mind and a philosophy of knowledge. And I think that's very true as well. Like, there are plenty of things that we know, but we don't really believe. For instance, well, actually, I'll get into it and you'll be able to see it. So, like all books, Coach Corey's is a philosophy book, as it carries out and it creates or highlights certain concepts, and then it develops those concepts as it goes on. One of them is masculinity, another is femininity, another one is centeredness, another one is attraction, another one is the concept of, like, the level of attraction, concept of a date. These are all different concepts that he employs and explains, and he makes a certain story out of these concepts about how things occur in the world, and then if you understand this, you can then use it and you can see it in your own life and apply it. Pardon me? And so I've kind of, at least for this time, I'm going to go around the things that I've really learnt from this. And there are plenty more concepts than those ones that I just explained. Most things are concepts, but some are quite specific and unique to books. And so I'm going to focus on a couple which have come to mind when I was just briefly contemplating the experiences and the things I've learned from 3% Man. And the first one is about femininity. Like, what exactly is femininity? And essentially what I've learned from what I've seen is that well, girls are like dogs. No, guys are like dogs, and girls are like cats. That's one of the first things that I learned, which is that the difference between a girl and a guy is that the guy falls in love as soon as he sees her, or isn't really bothered by her when he sees her. And a girl takes time to get into these things. She needs to let her emotions grow, and she needs to learn to be able to trust this guy, and so she's more wary. That's something that I would say that I partially get, because I understand it, I know it, and I can see it, but I often forget it when I'm going about my daily activities and just living my life and interacting with women. The next one, a key one which I've learned, which I understand now, is the levels of attraction, and the idea that if a woman has a scale of a 1 to 10 attraction rating on you, if it's a 4 or below, it's just you're never going to get them no matter what you do. And I think I instantly kind of picked that up. I think I instantly got that. And it's quite a good way of being able to essentially dismiss people. And maybe that sounds strange, but actually it's quite helpful, because it tells you who you should focus more of your time on, or who you shouldn't. Well, it doesn't tell you, but it advises you, you know. The whole point of the book, in one way of taking it, the whole point of the book is to tell you who you should go with and who you shouldn't. And you should spend your time with the people who are actually interested in you, because why would you spend your time with someone who isn't, when there are people who would be? And that's an underlying thing also about this book as well. It essentially says, there actually are going to be people who are interested in you, and it's okay that there are going to be people that are not, because there are people that are. And I think once you understand that to be the case, not just know that, but when you really understand that there are people out there who are going to like you specifically for you, then it makes it so much easier to just be rejected by people, because it's like, so what, there is going to be someone who is interested in me. And that's why rejection's harder, when you don't believe that, when you don't understand that to be the case, because you could think, this is the be-all end-all, I'll never get anyone. I guess in talking about that, we've moved on to other things, such as more of the fundamentals about attraction not being a choice. There are going to be people out there that they can't help but be attracted to you, and that's something I'm only just now getting, really. It's funny to see that there are people who just can't help but be attracted to you, and I've had a couple of experiences where people have shown high levels of attraction towards me, and it's taught me that, and I'm like, wow, who would have thought that, huh? It's kind of weird. It's quite cool. So moving back into maybe my own life, because ultimately the things I'm gaining from this book are related specifically to my life. The things I draw from this will only be specific to that, and your life will impact your understanding of it differently. Now, one of the things I've learned from this book is, so in these last 10 months I've moved to a new city for university, and one of the things I have to do at uni is I have to get the bus to my lectures. And so one of the things I did start to do to try and improve my confidence and social skills is just to ask people how their days were going at the bus station. Just ask them where they're going, what they're up to, this, that and the other. And I just started off very small and tried to work it up from there, and it was really good, actually. that's improved a lot of my social skills. It's got to a point where I know, or I'm partially getting that people actually are interested in having conversations with me and are interested in talking to random strangers about stuff. I don't fully understand it yet, because there is a part of me that's like, oh yeah, but like, what if they think I'm weird, or like, what if they, all that stuff. But I'm slowly getting that more and more. I think I'm slowly being able to replace those thoughts with just ones of, oh, let's have some fun, let's see how other people are doing, let's bring some joy and excitement and happiness to people's lives. I think that's quite cool. I'm quite happy about that. So yeah, moving back to the book then. One of the other things I've got from it is, well, related all to the female parts there. When a woman likes you, she'll make it easy for you. If she doesn't like you, then she'll make it harder for you. And as it quotes, I think it's some comedian, but it's like, when a woman likes you, she's going to open the doors for you. And all you have to do is walk through them. And if a door closes on you, you literally have to do nothing apart from just walk away and walk to someone else who's going to open the doors for you. It's a way of like really reorientating this and saying, okay, well, you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to go up to them and like, oh yeah, open these doors for me, like in that way. Now, obviously, I'm using these doors as like a metaphor, but it's essentially like, if a woman likes you, she's gonna help you out. She's gonna make it easy for you, and she wants to be with you. And again, it's that thing of, if she doesn't, it's fine, because there's someone else who will. And I think that, that's an undercurring thing, this whole thing. For instance, I was reading a bit today that was, what was it? Yeah, for instance, here on page 123, it's by saying, the place where you always want to come from, not only when you're in the relationship, but also before you've met someone. It's not to take rejection personally. You have to go through life to give your gift, give your presence, and give who you are. People are either going to accept you or not. You can't take it personally. It's a numbers game. You have to get through the no's in order to get to the yeses. That's an undercurring theme in this whole thing, which really is, people are going to reject you, but that is okay, because there are going to be people who do accept you. And I guess in my own experiences, I've learned this more and more. I've just got to believe this more and more, and live my life more and more supposing that is the case. I think that's pretty cool. And there you go again, it's like another thing specifically about your gift. Give who you are from you and help serve others. In a way, your fullest expression of your individuality is expressing who you are in a way of giving to others. It's that saying that isn't really true, but it's sort of like, the most successful business is the one that, aids and gives to the customer the best that they can. In a sense, it's like a full expression of yourself. One way of interpreting it is that it's a full expression of individuality within a collective, which is quite a cool idea that I think is worth remembering. Another thing that this really that I kind of learned from this was that it isn't about them. The whole of this book isn't about you working out techniques and ways that you can become better for someone else. In a way, it's the opposite. It's simply you accepting who you are and you being who you are, and improving in areas that you need to, becoming the person you want to attract, all stuff like that. But it's simply also about looking at the world and seeing who accepts you for who you are, who embraces you, who has, who wants to enjoy being around you. It's about you going out in the world and reading other people and seeing, okay, that person isn't into me, that person is. Okay, well, I'm probably going to want to spend more time with that person than that person. And it's completely flips the whole dating situation where you're thinking, oh, maybe I need to say this or say that, or maybe I need to buy this new outfit, or maybe I need to use this pickup line, or maybe I need to do this, that. It isn't about you changing yourself, it's about you being you, and then being able to see the people who like that and the people that don't. And then staying clear and not wasting your time on those who don't, and rather spend time with the people who do. And it's pretty cool like that. I think another thing that I've learned is this is also in the kind of fundamentals, is that masculinity grows through challenge and femininity grows through praise. This isn't specifically said. I think this was left by some comment on one of Corey's videos. See if you can find it. There's over like 1,000 or whatever. But that's been outside, but then it's made more sense. And it ties all into what masculinity is, well, which is a huge concept that we've really got to discuss, and which has really got to be toned in on you if you want to follow this book and use it for the specific audience he targeted. But yes, masculinity is about presupposing that you are who you are, you're happy with who you are, and it's simply a matter of you plussing to your life. It's you going, I'm happy with where I am, or I accept where I am, I'm at peace with where I am, and I'm going to work to pursue my goals and my dreams and my values and things I've set myself, so that I can only improve, I can only get better. And femininity is more about playing more of a supportive role. It's about it's the way Corey says, it's about opening yourself up to receive other people, specifically those who are masculine, which is typically most males. Corey says that he calls his book 3% Man because he believes that there's only 3% of men in the world who really understand women. I would say that you could also view this another way, which is that there are plenty of males in the world, but there are not a lot of men. And in its own way, 3% Man is a book of ethics, and it's a book of the ethics of a man. In order to be a man, to be the social category of a man, which is a socially constructed thing, you need to carry off these certain principles and values and live your life in a certain way. And you have to be fueled by masculinity, primarily. And so, Corey's book is, it's an ethics of man, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, maybe you could say that there are men out there, and those men are men, not just males, but they don't understand women. Maybe you could say that, but I think it's quite cool to phrase it as there are males out there, but there aren't men. Or there aren't as many men. And particularly this is something that I've kind of learned, is that it's almost like you as a man are a king, and then a female is sort of an advisor to the king. There is a power dynamic where you are the leader, and you need to look after your subjects. Otherwise they're going to drop off and go and find another king, which is completely understandable and completely reasonable as well. There's one particular thing which Corey keeps on coming back to, which is that if you don't date and open your woman up, eventually someone else will. And it's true. I mean, if you're in this position of being a leader and a person of authority, you've got to respect and govern your subjects appropriately. Otherwise, they have, and they will almost definitely exercise that will to go and experiment and see how they got on being subjects of other people. And this is where it also changed my perspective on authority. I'm quite a left-wing person in general, and so my tendencies are to be very questioning of authority, and to see social hierarchies in society as wrong or flawed or needing altering. And so this has very much changed or impacted or interacted with my feelings about these things. And more and more I'm understanding the role of authority. Potentially it's a necessity, most likely it's a necessity, and how it needs to not be dismissed when having discussions of social hierarchy. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. And this is where it also rebrands authority, where it isn't about someone may abuse that authority, therefore we should dismiss it, but it goes to, there has to be some form of authority. So you as an individual not only have to not let down yourself, but not let down others who rely on your authority to live their lives. And you as a man need to be a leader. You need to have self-belief in yourself that where you're going is where you want to go and will occur. And you need to be able to invite others into that and listen to them as well. Corey says that you should never, guys that understand women will never fight with women. They'll have never have an argument, and that's because you as the man are already in the position of authority. Ultimately, you are the one that's in charge of that relationship. She can decide to be with you or leave you, but you're the one that steers the car of the relationship. And so you should listen to your woman, you should open her up and listen to what she has to say. Because if you don't do that, someone else will. And you have to generally do that. You have to do that with love, and you have to listen to her. And for that, I've also tried to improve my communication skills by the moment I'm reading Thich Nhat Hanh's The Art of Communicating. Which is Thich Nhat Hanh is someone who Corey often quotes from, and other people like Lao Tzu. And I'm also interested in getting, particularly for my dissertation, I'm interested in looking at the social, the roles of leadership, and kind of getting this new perspective that isn't just a kind of left-wing skepticalness of the nature of authority. Oh, it's so fucking hot. And it isn't even just because I'm here. You can probably see it, I'm dripping wet, basically. I bet you are as well. But don't know. I guess another thing I found is that I've recently been going to the gym, as I said, and I feel like I've got so much more energy in my life. So I'm actually able to be more like fun, particularly like with my sister. I'll tease her and mess about with her more, and I can see that it has a positive effect. It's being able to have energy as a man and being able to be decisive and stuff. It does attract more like femininity, even if it's just me and my sister having some banter. Like, I can see that, and I think that the more I work on myself and the more I can have encouragement and happiness in myself, the more I can then banter around with other people and they can test my authority and I can challenge them in the same way that women always test you. It's its own form of banter. It's them going, "Are you really good enough?" And of course they want you to be able to carry yourself off as, "Of course I am," and almost undermining their question in itself. Not in any horrible way, but in simply being like, "Of course I am. I'm a buffer. I know that." Yeah, and I think with a lot of these things, it's that I understand them. If I know them, I can memorize them, I can recall them as I am doing now. And maybe I even understand them, or I'm getting them, but I don't really carry them out fully yet. There's still thoughts in my mind which are running counter to that. I think that at the moment I'm reading The Power of Positive Thinking, and I want to try and replace a lot of my negative thoughts with positive ones that then I instinctively just lead my life very masculine and very just if you get what I mean. I guess one of the other things I actually learned so far was that Google Maps is very good for finding things to do. I read that in just one of the chapters and it just made more sense. And then when I went on a couple of dates, before the date I used that and I was able to find billions of things I could do on the date. And I guess the final thing would be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or whatever, which is simply about you walk in the direction that you want and you be patient, and when you see the signs, because you're reading her level of attraction, you go for what you want. If you feel some resistance, you just edge back. You just keep on going about your day. And you treat it as though, like, it's like, okay, whatever, sure thing. Just accept the circumstances and just keep on going about things. Eventually, she'll move forward again, and then you try again. And if not, you just and then if she doesn't want to take it further, you go back. Simply about you leading your life and doing what you want, and then reading the signs when someone else wants to, going for it, and if not taking it personally, not getting worked up over it, not worrying them so they have to think about what they need to do, just going about your time. And I think that's one of the final things that and then that links into about hanging out, having fun and hooking up, essentially towards like more of the back of the book. Corey is talking about marriage and love, and he essentially says, like, leave those things and being in a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, leave those things to the woman. All you need to do is just focus on having a good time, focus on making her smile, as he says earlier on, and just focus on the fun bits. Leave all of that up to her, and you just enjoy being in the present moment. she'll decide to do those things when she does. So you can actually focus on providing and setting the scene for a nice time. As Sun Tzu says, something like leadership is garnered through like example and leading, not through force. And it's the same thing. You, as the leader, lead the interaction. You lead it to where it needs to go. If you encounter force, you hold back, because ultimately you think, when you know it to be the case, that you're a cool guy. She's showing these signs. She's probably, if you're already there and you know that she's attracted, it's simply a matter of time. And and so you don't have to have any worry. You can have the most amount of patience that you possibly can, because you know it's going to get to where you want it to go in the end. Yeah, it's like it's entering into it going, I know you're ultimately going to want to follow me. Just quite I don't know, more relaxed way of doing things. Another thing would be look at what a woman does and what she says. I think this is something that maybe I understand. I'm not entirely sure though. Maybe it's just something I know, but I don't think I've had enough instances of it to really maybe properly get it. I've got to have more lived experiences of a lot of these things. And perhaps I even do have the fundamentals. Perhaps I do even understand all this now. I just need to actually practice it so I can actually understand it, and it can be ingrained in me just to practice and 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 practice. And then some more practice as well. For me, and then the final one though that I wrote down, that I guess is implicitly said, which is go about your life as you want to, pursue your own goals and missions, and women will follow. And this is something that I know, but I don't understand at all. I can say it as a thing, and I can even sort of understand it as if you're the leader. Obviously, someone who's looking for a leader wants to find someone who's already doing what they want to do. They're going to gravitate to that person and enjoy being that person if they enjoy it and they know what they're doing. But it's something I keep on forgetting, and I don't go about my life just doing what I do. I still get caught up in seeing someone and interacting with them and then going, oh wait, but do they like me, or what's going on here? And then thinking about how I'm acting around them, or what I'm doing, or all this stuff. I think I need to read more of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I need to just practice socialising more. I think I need to change my mindset towards these things, replace those thoughts with positive ones about, hey, people are going to enjoy you having fun with me. And maybe also being able to notice those negative thoughts and then replace them or disperse them and all stuff like that. That takes a lot of effort, and to be honest, I really haven't been bothered to do that, but it's something I'm going to have to do. I really have to. If I want the life I want, there's nothing else I can do other than that. I've got to do it. So it's just something I've got to do. What else? Yeah, I still get caught up in what girls want. I'm thinking about, do I look weird here? Do I look weird there? That's something I want to change. I want to get to the point where I'm just able to live my life, go on happily, just being able to go out and be friendly with everyone and anyone. And then when women approach me, know exactly all I need to do to deal with it, and know exactly how I can set up a date if I want to, or if I can just keep on having bounce with them. What I want to do is what I want, I know in the negative, in the sense that I want to not have the awkwardness, to not go, how should I deal with this? I don't really like this person, so how should I deal with that? Or I do like this person, so what should I do there? So I think I just essentially just got to do more and more of it. Just got to do more and more practice, more and more talking to people. I think in many ways I'm alright how I am. I'm in a weird place where it's almost like I'd be perfect if I just didn't have those thoughts that drag me down. I think I'd be genuinely perfect. I'd be pulling girls everywhere. But it's just those negative thoughts that then cause me to act weird, which then I think cause other people to act weird around me, or think that I'm weird, or makes them uncomfortable, stuff like that. But yeah, I know that's the situation where I am. Those are the things that I've learned so far. This was probably, admittedly this was more about me than the book, but at the end of the day, what I garner from the book is going to be related to me, just like it's going to be related to someone else if they read it differently. It's essentially progress upon me, see how I've changed. Other books as well that I've been reading were Epictetus's Enchiridion, which was essentially talking about, have values within yourself, cultivate those, and essentially you're unstoppable, which is pretty cool. Another one is Lao Tzu's De Lao Jing, and I like a quote like this: is true mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. That was chapter 48. I think it's a very key one. It's a very important one. And it ties in with this, which is essentially, you've got to let things go their own way. If they're attracted to you, let it go its own way and let its attraction grow for you. If they're not attracted to you, let them leave. And let them go and have the best life that they can. If it's someone who's lost attraction for you and now wants to leave out your life, let them go. Let them go and live their best life. That's the only way that you can master that. It's by letting it go its own way. Its own way. Not yours, but wherever it wants to go. And that's something that has really helped me out, particularly with the relationships I've had in the past with exes breaking up with me. I only started reading Corey's stuff because my ex left me and started dating other people. And yeah, I'd followed him for I followed him maybe 5 years ago or something, and then I only watched a couple here and there, got some little bits here and there, little ideas, never really fully committed to it. And then now I've come back after I was able to use a couple of the things to get the girl I have now, or I had now. And then when she broke with me, I was like, I've got to. The way we broke up, it was very devastating to me. That it put me in a position where I wanted to become a brand new person, not just change a couple of things. I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to be a phoenix rising from the ashes, as Nietzsche and other people would say. I'm committed to just becoming a new person, to destroying who I am now and be willing to replace everything about myself. I think my jawline. Beyond that, oh yeah, no, my dad just came into my room. But beyond that, I think my jawline looks alright. I don't know. Don't think I look that bad. I'm watching Hamza, if you know him. And I'm watching Corey, obviously. And I finished watching Naruto as well recently, yeah. But actually Naruto was pretty good. I'd recommend anyone to waste their time watching it. I wanna try and rely less on dopamine and, like, you know, spend my days just reading and exercising and sort of being a bit of a loner, just being retrospective at the moment. That is my main goal at the moment, though, is to be able to get to a point where I don't care about whether a woman likes me or not. Maybe that's a wrong goal to have. Maybe that's an impossible goal. Maybe instead I need to be able to handle, or maybe it's another side of it. Maybe in order to not care about it, I need to know that I can have it if I want it. Don't know. Anyway, yeah. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you in a bit.